Hi, I'm Dave Robinson, and welcome to another screencast where I'll be using R and RStudio to analyze data I've never seen before. As usual, the data comes from the Tidy Tuesday project, an amazing weekly data project in R from the R for Data Science online learning community. If you're tuning in live, I'm excited to see you here. I really love the interactive component to these live screencasts. So as I'm going through this analysis, be sure to ask questions. Be sure to suggest ideas of visualizations I might do. I won't always have time to get to all of them, but I really like getting your engagement. That's why I do these live. So let's see what we have today. The only thing I know about this data set is it is European energy. Let's find out what's in the data. All right. Ooh, that's cool. A really cool graphic. I don't like to look at other people's graphics because I like to try and come up with my own. But let's see. Coming from an Excel-based data product, tidy format. Oh man, so much great work done by the R for Data Science community to clean these data sets. And I'm going to use the Tidy Tuesday R package to kick off our project. In fact, first I will start with here's my fresh session, and I'll start by doing let's do Tidy Tuesday R, and I'm remembering how it was called. Use Tidy template. So it creates today's Tidy Tuesday template, and I load up Tidyverse, Tidy Tuesday R. I'm also going to do theme set, theme light. I'm also going to do library scales. I always feel like I need all of these. And then I'm going to load in today's data set. Looks like there's two data sets that we're looking at today. One is European, this is the README, and one is energy types, and one is country totals. Let's look at them. Energy types, there's country code, country. Is there time? There's time for 3 years. I might be tidying this because it's hard to work with these 3 separate years. Level 1 and level 2, where level 2 makes up level 1 that makes up the total. I don't understand what that means. Either total. All right, it doesn't look like there's total level 1 or level 2. That doesn't quite look right. Either I don't see any level. So I'm not sure. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, limited to level 1 or 2 production by type, conventional, thermal, fossil fuels, nuclear, high. Okay, level and type. Let's try counting level and type and see what they. Aha. So 2 in this case is just pumped hydro power. Okay, so the description doesn't seem to quite be right, but all right. This is what we're looking at. We're seeing like conventional thermal, geothermal, hydro, nuclear. I really don't understand what the levels are. Pumped hydro power, maybe that's a subset of hydro. I'm not 100% clear. It's energy in gigawatt hours. All right, is this potential, is this for an entire country? If so, I kind of would have thought that would be maybe in thousands of gigawatt hours or something like that. That feels, I don't know what is let's find out actually. Belgium, gigawatt hours. Okay, this is suggesting, no, I could be wrong. Look at this, what's a gigawatt? All right, so let's think for a second. What is a gigawatt hour? Okay, it's been a very long time since college when I last took it's a power consumption of 1 watt for 1 hour. Okay, so like a 60 watt bulb for 1 hour would take 60 watt hours. It's a measure of electricity production. Giga is a billion, so this is suggesting thousands of billions each month, or what would this be in Belgium? In a year, 30,000? Okay, it's plausible. All right, so we're looking at here's our types of energy consumption. All right, so I was wrong that it's not necessarily millions of gigawatt hours something. 30,000 gigawatt hours of conventional thermal, 40,000 of nuclear. All right, great. Now we understand. Now I'm starting to get a real feel to understand what I trust this data. Okay, great. Gigawatt hours, type, country name. What are our countries? I'm actually gonna energy types. Is TT energy types. I don't need to do any, I don't know of any cleaning I'll do yet. Why do I do that? Because it makes the auto-completing a little bit easier. And I'll do country name. Ooh, 37 countries. Okay, great. That's I imagine most of the countries in Europe, and I have codes for them so I can make a graph. Pardon me, a map. So what will we want? What will we do today? We only have 3 years, so I'm probably not an so we're probably going to do a map because we have countries. We only have 3 years, 2016 to 2018, so not an animation. I don't think it's that interesting to do a animation with only three years of data. We're definitely going to be doing a graph of energy consumption total over time. That's the things we get. Some of the things we get consumption by type over time. We might make a shiny visualization. Should we do shiny because it might need to be interactive? We could. I'm gonna consider that. All right, but that's some of the things we can try doing. The other is the other one is we have country totals. I think that might just be a variation on this. So if we, on the energy. So if we say energy, TT country totals, and count level. All right, that's just total. All right, and count type. The types here are different. They're not by I see. Okay, it's like energy absorbed, supplied, exports, imports. So energy applied is net plus import minus export minus energy absorbed by pumping. All right, so we might look at things like we might look at exports, imports, etc. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. All right, let's get started. So what I'm going to do first is look at total energy consumption. Here we go. Total energy consumption in Europe, in at least 37 European countries. So what I'll do is look at our energy types. I'll need to gather. In fact, I'm going to do this early on. I'm going to do this as part of our cleaning because I'm not crazy about having these as 3 separate ones when everything else is tidy. So I'm going to actually do pivot wider, pivot longer. I want it to be longer. I'm practicing doing names to is year, and I'm going to say names to is year, and values to. The columns are vars. But they are all the ones that, let's see, starts with 2. That's a way I can just say get the 2016 ones. The values go, the names go to year, and the values go to value, gigawatt. Actually, I'll say gigawatts. Gigawatt hours. All right, that didn't work. I suspect because, let me try gather real quick. What if I tried gather? Gather year, gigawatt hours, and everything that starts with 2. Oh, hey, I think I may have done that one wrong. Let's find out. All right, that one worked great. Now, if I said calls equals starts with 2, would that have worked? I'm still learning to use pivot longer. Yes, it didn't need vars. Great. Okay. I'll leave the pivot longer, and I'll also say year equals as integer of year because it's not a string. It's not character. It's integer. All right. Now now we have it in a tidy form. I'm gonna keep that, and now we'll look at group by year and type, and we'll summarize total power equals sum gigawatt hours. I'm thinking what other things you might be interested in. I don't really care about things like average power. Maybe, I guess some ideas on variation, but I'm not going to do them yet. This is like the first graph we probably want to make with this data would be something like year total power fill equals type. And look at how the consumption has changed. If we had a large amount of time, this might look a little more exciting, but what it does look like is there's more, there's the total amount of power produced, pretty steady, a little bit more wind than there used to be, and a little bit less conventional thermal. Looks like, all right, I'm also going to reorder this. I'm going to say, I had to ungroup because otherwise it'll still be grouped. And I have to say type is FCT reorder type by total power based on the sum. I don't necessarily need that. It could be still pop up, right? And notice now I have this in this order where the biggest ones are on the bottom. That's at least a little bit more readable. What else would I do for this graph? I would put the scale y continuous. Labels is comma. That comes from the scales package where I want to say the total power. I'm also going to put some. I'm going to make this a little bit clearer by saying total power in gigawatt hours. Cool. I don't know the difference between the hydro and pumped hydropower. What is the thing about level 2? Where level 2 makes up level 1 that makes up the total. Does someone understand that? I don't have a good understanding of that. I'm just worried that like maybe pumped hydropower should be subtracted from hydropower or something like that. I'm not that clear. Maybe I should look only at level 1. Pumped hydro is a submeasure of hydro. Okay, based on that, I'm actually, okay, yes, I understand now. It comes from an Excel spreadsheet. I'm actually going to say level must be level 1 and drop pumped hydro. I could have done it as a subset of this. I don't think it's quite worth, thanks for that suggestion. I don't think it's quite worth putting it in this visualization. I think we're fine as we are right here. Okay, so this is total power by gigawatt hours over time, and this is about as far as I would go with this graph. We learned that conventional thermal, I think that means things like coal, followed by nuclear, followed by hydro, are the largest sources of power. We could have also looked at this we could have visualized this with a bar plot in 2018, and it would look something like this. We would have said, we would have still kept the type ordering, but then I would have said total power. I need to do that in the grouping. Yes, what I'll say is totals, and I'll say Europe totals, and I'll do this. Let's see. In fact, I'll be doing that on both steps. I'll put this as a step in Europe totals. Okay, so now I have 2 steps here. One, I get the energy totals. One, I visualize it, and now here we go. I total power by type geom call. I've already, and I changed this to here. I don't have level in there, but I'm actually going, nope, I do Europe totals, I have level filter, so I don't need it anymore. I do need a year filter. All right, and now I can just say, okay, what was the total power? I could have suggested it that way in scale x tenuous labels equals comma format. There's comma and total power consumption in. Oh, I said consumption. It's production, isn't it? I keep scrolling the wrong way. Production, yes. Production. In Europe, in 2018. So if I just wanted to look at the totals, I'd have looked at it this way. Bar plot, stacked bar plot, all good. Another way I could have done the stacked bar plot would have been the facet. I say facet wrap by type, drop the fill, and I could choose to do scale. The reason I want to do this is if I want to compare, to look at each of them, are they increasing? So what I might do is free up the y-axis. And yeah, this gives a little bit of a sense of it's like, and then, yeah, this gives a little sense of like, okay, other geothermal, solar, which are how they've changed. Nuclear steady, conventional thermal might have gone down a little bit. So the good news from a sustainability perspective is that wind is increasing. Also interesting, other is decreasing a bit. All right, so that's looking at the Europe totals. As far as I probably want to go with Europe totals, I'm going to start looking by country. If you have questions or ideas, feel free to throw them in. I'm gonna filter for level 1. Oops. Type equals, nope, it's level equals level 1. I've got a question. Nuclear is steady. Wind is increasing. So is geothermal. These are both known as renewable energy sources. So is solar. So 3 renewable energy sources have been increasing. What countries have been driving that that measure? That sounds a bit interesting. So let's start looking by country. I'm going to start by saying which countries have the most make up the most wind power. Now, 1 second, just thinking about this, how I'm going to look at this. I'm going to start by saying filter for type. I'm going to focus in on 1. Let's focus in on wind. And I'm going to say wind. And I'm going to start just by saying 1 year. I'm not going to keep it at that for long. 37. So now I'm going to say country name. And I'll say mutate country name is FCT reorder. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. It's going to be last. All right, so country name, gigawatt hours. And gigawatt hours, country name, geom call. This is 37 countries. Oh, I saw this comment about this a second ago, which is that the UK is listed as NA. Thanks for that data cleaning note. That's really helpful to show what that's referring to. It looks like when country name is NA, it becomes country. So I'm going to do that back here in this cleaning step. I'm going to say replace NA list country name. This from tidyr is United Kingdom. And now we can say, I'm going to do it again. Looks way better. Germany produces the most gigawatt hours of any country. Ooh, I've got all kinds of ideas what I'm going to do here. From wind of anyone. I'm actually going to want to facet this. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to want to facet this by type because I might be interested in multiple of them. A challenge that this runs into is that each is going to have a different ordering. I'm also going to want to scale free. Why? Because not every country produces every type. It's still not, and oh, some of them are very low. I'm going to actually free up both axes. And while I'm at it, I'm going to say type is FCT reorder, type by gigawatt hours, sum, and I'll do negative because I want to order with the biggest ones up here. And I'm going to kind of like that. Problem here is that there's so many things on each axis. No good. What I'm going to do is go with only the largest country. So someone's just the top n, 10 of n for each. I could absolutely do top n, but I can also do other. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to say, I now have a choice. Do I do top n within each facet or only overall? Or do top n overall? No, I'm going to be lumping within each facet. So within each type, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say country name is FCT lump country name by gigawatt hours. Oh, I'm sorry, weight the top 10 weighted by gigawatt hours. Now if I do this, it's actually going to give me a, oh, it's funny, it didn't give me a warning. Oh, because the levels are the same for each. Why would the levels be the same for each? So interesting. I didn't expect that. I group by type. I expected these to be different. And then I expected it to give me a warning about reuniting them. Well, seems very different, but okay. What I'm doing, but in any case, what I'm doing is I'm lumping them together. And now, see how this looks? I think there should be an other level. Here we are. Here's the other level within this. Aha, one of the problems is we have ties. Ties, are those ties 0? Probably. Yeah, because I see zeros. So one thing I want to do here is actually say gigawatt hours I don't need the zero. I don't need the zeros. They're definitely not interesting on a graph, and they're just going to make the top end be really misleading. So this is already a better visualization. It is not a perfect visualization because the order is the same. Is the same for all of these. The order is the same for all of these, but the items on each are different. That's a recipe for confusion. And anybody know what I would use for this? Didn't give you folks any time to answer because the tidy text package provides scale, provides for a country name, reorder within type, and then scale y reordered means that I can say reorder the categories within each of these. Interestingly, that other always ends up on its own. Oh, yes, it's because it uses the average, it ends up on the end. I want to say reorder, and the function is sum. So reorder within takes fun argument for, here we go. Here we go. Here's our types of, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit because it's a neat looking graph. And we're gonna say scale x continuous, commas. Yes, someone nailed reorder within in the chat, but there's always a delay before when I'm speaking to when you're seeing it. But that was an awesome answer. So what we're doing here is, here we go. All right. So it looks like who produces the most conventional thermal energy? Well, it's Germany and Turkey. Wow, this is so interesting. I really did not. I would have expected this ordering to be much more consistent between countries. But it looks like, for example, Germany produces tons of conventional thermal, very little hydro. And also, so conventional thermal and solar, but it's relatively low on some of the other categories. France is the only country that produces a large amount of nuclear power. All right, so this is interesting. When I'm doing a facet, I like to have it go by 6. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here and say type is not equal to other. Drop the other kind of energy, even though it was interesting that it was only, what were those 2 countries that produced other? Basically just Austria produces other. But I'm still going to drop it. It's the least interesting of these. There it is. I'm still going to drop it. It's the least interesting, and now I can say, all right, here's your, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I don't need a y-axis. Cool, okay. So then we say, all right, so it's, for example, very few countries use geothermal, basically just Turkey and Italy. Now, nobody's commented that this is not per capita. That is true. This isn't like how much is produced per capita, and it's likely that larger countries are producing more. But one thing I'll say from looking at this, it's not clear that population is the most important factor here for energy production. Because I'm actually looking at this like Norway is kind of nowhere on any of these lists. There's really more variation in total energy production by country than I expected. I guess it's because countries do a lot of exports. It's not like the breakdown of their energy production is not necessarily driven by their population. That's really that's interesting. That was not what I predicted going into this analysis. I thought we'd have to bring in some per capita data. We could still look per capita. Maybe we'll do that when we get to looking at imports and exports. I think that might be more relevant. For now, this is a cool graph. I have a thought. How can we make it even cooler? I saw a suggestion a few minutes ago in chat about the ggflag package. I've never heard of the ggflag package, but my guess is it's put flags into a ggplot too, and that I'd love to do that. Let's try ggflag. So, is it in cran? Nope. Keep going the wrong way. It's a proof of concept. It looks quite cool. And hold on, it's forked. Am I looking at the wrong one? I'm not sure here. This one has more stars. I'm going to trust this one. All right. And try ggflag. I'm going to do devtools install GitHub ggflags. I am behind on updating this machine. Puts in a comma so you don't run it by accident. A comment, I should say. And here's ggflags. ggflags, I'm guessing, has a geom flag. Let's look at the documentation. Looks like it takes a country level. All right, that's really cool. What I'm going to do is take this plot that we already made, load in ggflags. ggflag, here we go. ggflags and geom call, geom flag on top of that. AES country equals country. That is the country code. Let's try that one more time. Sometimes that pops up. Nope. Is it possible? Let's see. I gave it an X, I gave it a Y, I gave it a country. Let me double check the documentation. X, Y, country. I'm going to try just giving it size equals something. Nope, didn't help. All right, so here's what happens when we're trying something out, especially something that's a little bit experimental. The way that I would go about debugging it, it's possible we can't fix it. But the way that I go about it is I go to the documentation and I try running their example. Oh ho, scale country. What's that? That's the issue, I think. Scale country. Nope, that wasn't the problem. Okay, so their example works, and their example looks pretty nifty. Let's look at this again. Let's look at that example again. So X, Y, country, and they put in a size. I'm going to quickly check again that if I say size equals gigawatt hours, it doesn't help if I add a size. All right. What I'll do then is try this without faceting. So what I do is country is a factor. Could that cause a problem? Nope, that wasn't the problem. All right, what I do now is I create a minimal reproducible example. Jenny has a really good example. Jenny Bryan has a lot of great talks and documentation on how to create a minimal reproducible example. In this case, what I'm going to do is filter for 1 year and 1 type. I'm going to say type must be nuclear. I got a question of is it country equals country name, and I'm pretty confident no, that it actually does need these to be country codes based on the example. Notice it says it has these country codes, but I will notice those country codes are lowercase. That wasn't the problem either. All right, so I'm taking this. I'm going to ggplot AES year by gigawatt hours. Sure, the year will always be the same. It doesn't matter. Geom point works. Geom flag country equals. I want it to be the country code. Didn't work. Country equals string to lower of country. See, now I'm making these in lowercase. Didn't work. Now I'll try just a few countries. Did any of these countries work? Yes. I'm going to start to suspect that the problem is that when I introduce a country, it can't recognize that it breaks. There, all right, I'm doing what's called binary search. I'm literally just looking for which one does it break on. So it's not a helpful error message, but that's okay because we were able to figure it out. The problem was in row 14. Slice and dplyr gets us 14. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure UK is that the ISO 2-digit character is in fact, I think, Great Britain, though they're not exactly the same, so that's not perfect. But we might not have a flag for UK, we might have a flag for GB. So what I'm going to do is say, here we go, mutate country. I'm going to fix it just within this example. I'm going to say country is FCP recode. Country GB equals UK. See, I replaced with GB. How's it look now? That step works, but I have a problem of I want to check out all my types, not just the 15 that are in here. So yeah, UK is not included, but I think GB does seem to work. It's taking a minute. It's taking its time. How much data is this? I didn't think it was that big. It'll slow me down a little. Yeah. So the story then is we figured out the problem was countries that are missing, and I can use FTP code to replace them. Ooh, something's going slow. Okay, and these are the flags. Hurrah! Hurrah! All right. Then what I'm going to do is, all right, it just hit me that other is going to be a problem for us. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, here's my data prepared. Oh, I'm going to test a few other things. Do I need to have the country be lowercase? Gosh, something is slowing me down. I think the genome flag, Oh, Weird to me that it worked. I don't understand how that one worked. All right, doesn't need to be lowercase. Might not even need to be character. But I know that I do need, all right. The story is that I do need, I'm going to create this visualization, but I need other not to, appear. Not to be a country. I think that's going to break it. So let me check here. Country name, all right, I'm going to do country. Oh, I did country name lump, all right. Oh, I'll need to do the same thing on country, but luckily it'll work the same way. And I need country equals FCT recode country GB is UK. So doing a little bit of data clean here. Nope. Country is not. It's never GB. That's odd to me. Filter. It's never UK. Country. Oh, it's not country name, is it? It's country. Country is UK. Oh, I see it. We did a group by. All right. Can I tell FTP code not to warn me? I don't want to be warned every time. I cannot do that. All right. This is a simple approach. Don't use FTP recode. Use if else. Country is UK, then GB, otherwise country. There we go. Notice the country name is going to be, this is so that the reorder within works. All right, and country is country. Let's try this once. All right, I suspect here the problem is the other category. I'm going to actually say country, let me see. I'm going to say country is if else, country is other, then NA, else country. It does not, somewhere it does not care, I think it does not care for the NA. I'm not 100% sure. If I just, well, let's find out something. If I just made this, I don't know, what's a country code? ES for Spain. ST lump returns a factor. Lots of little bits of cleaning I got to do here. If I just made this other be like ES, count country. On group count country. What if I just made it? Maybe I got ES wrong. Maybe it was Germany. No, still not working. What if I tried saying country is not equal to other? I've got this bug back. What if I try saying country is? I thought that I checked this. No. All right. What if I tried randomly subsetting our data? Oops. Figure out what my missing country is. This is called binary search. I'm searching within each. What is 14? I'm confused. Oh, ungroup. EL. EL is Greece. ISO. It looks like that should probably be data prepared filter. Ungroup. That looks like a coding issue. Oh, I thought that I saw something about this getting fixed, but it looks like it wasn't quite fixed. So I have to say if country is EL, then GR. I think we might finally have done this. All right, really, this is great. I'm going to do two more things. I'm going to drop the legend. We do not need the legend because we have the countries here on the axes. And I'm going to do, one second, I'm removing the legend. And the second thing I'm going to do is, I don't like geom call for this. I like geom error bar h, where we say x min is, yeah, what I'm actually going to say is x min is 0, x max is gigawatt hours. Why? Actually, I don't even need this. I can actually just say, what am I doing? I can do call width equals 0.1 and get a thinner line for each of these. Does that not work? What did I just change? One sec. Oh, All right, well, one thing I learned for this, I don't need size, legend, position. All right, so a problem with this, it looks like a problem with this is that, I need scale country. Wow, this really has been an adventure, hasn't it? All right, one moment, please. And doesn't work with everything. It worked a minute ago, didn't it? I'm gonna go back to when it worked. Could have sworn it worked back then. Am I missing a country name? I thought I fixed all of them. I wonder, in ggflag, do they have a list somewhere of all the countries that they have? Probably, but I can't find it. I remember a wondrous moment. It was seconds perhaps, but it felt like it happened, where this visualization did work. Did anyone catch my bug? I don't know what my bug is. I did country. I lumped it. I take this and if I try head 20, head 5. Does this need to be up here or something? Nope. Doesn't change a thing. Country, if I try making this, let me see, string to lower, country. Oh, that was the problem. Wow. Oops. Oops. Whew, that was exhausting. Sorry, folks. All right, that got close to working. I'm going to try two things. I'm going to try removing the scale. Can I do that? Looks like I can. All right, I was just confused when I thought they couldn't. I did need the country to be lowercase. I do not think I need the size. Why did I do width equals 1? Because I kind of like that, 0.1. Kind of like this graph. Neat how the flag goes off the edge. All right, this is a flag graph. I've never made a graph like this before. And I'm sure, no, Dave, but you seem to make it so quickly and without any trouble. I never made this before. This is a really neat package. I wish that it gave a more helpful error message, but other than that, this is a cool way to just like, oh yeah, to get flags of countries into my visualization. Okay. I'm also going to make this look a little bit better by saying theme minimal I'm going to try, and then maybe, theme minimal, theme panel dot grid equals element, panel dot grid y. I don't want to have, panel grid major y, I'll say minor y is element blank. What I'm doing is removing some of the lines. I'm trying to make this look a little bit neater. And I'm going to say, I missed a plus. Cool. So this is ggflag. I hadn't tried it before, and it's kind of fun. So I got a question from someone which is why is I could remove the names of the columns. Yes, we could remove the names of the columns, but if we did, let me see, what was, yes, but I think it would end up being a little hard to read because we'd have to know every flag. But yes, it is true that the flags are redundant with the names of the columns. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, and so this is a little a flag plot. All right, that was an adventure. You know what I'd love to have flags? Anytime I do correlations of a network of countries, having these flags pop up as individual points and then connected in gggraph, that would be really cool. But that would take some work to get geom node point to work with flags. Maybe a little experimentation. All right. I also showed how I go about debugging a G flag, and that is that I would go about it poorly. That's entirely on me. All right, so let's do something else. I'm really interested in changes over time. I'm interested in energy types. I didn't even make a map today. That's all right. Let me see. I'm interested in changes 2016 versus 2018. Notice here I say who makes the most, say, nuclear energy. I might be interested in how did that differ between 2016 and 2018. So what I would actually do is I'd say gigawatt hours greater than 0, and I'd say filter for year in 2016, 2018, and type, let's say, nuclear. What I now get is 30 data points from 2 years, 2016 and 18, often from the same countries. And what I can do is actually plot a slope graph. I'm thinking ahead of you because I want to kind of show what has been increasing and what has been decreasing across a lot of different countries. And what I can say here is year, y-axis gigawatt hours, geom point. Heck, while I'm doing, and let's make it a scale x, y log 10 to spread the points out a little bit more. Heck, while I'm at it, I absolutely could do a GG flag. Do I do a GG flag? Do I do a GG flag? Yes, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these steps up in my cleaning so I don't have to do them again. And now I can delete this. This was a proof of concept. And now I can say country equals country. Oh, I need also country is string to lower of country. Notice that now geom flag is useful because I don't really have enough space to put text in every one of these. Oh, I don't need this line anymore. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm doing the wrong graph. I want to do it on this one. Great. I'm going to also say labels equals comma for that y-axis, and I'm going to say scale x continuous breaks are I only need 2016 and 2018. And the other thing that I really need to do, and this is the most important part, is under the geom flag, I can put geom line grouped by country. This is a slope graph. So called because we can see, this is the slope of how much nuclear power is being produced in this year versus this year within one country. This is a log scale, so that's quite a reduction. I'm not good at all with my European flag, so I don't know which country this is. Could it be? I don't even want to guess because I'm going to sound silly. What I'm going to do is, along with the flag, I'm going to do a geom text equals country name, and vjust is 1, check overlap equals true. People are saying it's Belgium. Oh, I forgot a plus. So this is a slope graph, and I did a vjust. I kind of meant to do an hjust. All right, and here's a trick. Here is I kind of want the so this does not look good yet. I kind of want it on the outsides. I want this looks okay, maybe a little bit farther, and I need the two things I need. First, I need to extend the limits to be 2015 to 2019 to make sure I can see everything. Second, I want theme. I hate this panel grid, this element blank. I don't like that one bit. Better. And then, but the most important thing that I need is I need to have the hjust differ between these two. Is hjust a geom, or is it an AES, or is it an aesthetic? Yes, hjust is an aesthetic. That means I didn't actually know that, which means I can actually say if else year is 2016, then 1 else 0. Let me remind myself, is that the right order, or is it the am I getting it backwards? Yeah, that's close. And now I can actually say what I'm doing is I'm ensuring that they're adjusted on each side to be nudged in a positive and negative direction. And yeah, here we go. So it's like, but that's, I don't like that one bit. United Kingdom, does that have energy types, filter? I already did the cleaning. What was it called? Filter. Oh, right, I renamed it GB. United Kingdom, poll, country name. Now, the problem is not that, it's not like it has extra spaces in it or anything. Oh, maybe it's HJust. I don't know what that is. Oh well. I could also change the x-axis instead of the HJust. That is really true. I'm going to try that. It's a little bit more direct. This is a good suggestion from Adib. What I'm going to do is look at 2016, 20. No, I don't. I don't want that because I need this text to be right justified. And that's, yes, I'm going to want the text to be right justified for this. So I'm actually going to leave the HJust. Check overlap, yeah. Check overlap doesn't move the text. GG repel would move the text, but that's not the problem. I think it's something to do with the justification. It's something to do with the justification, but I think it's basically that doing like 1.1 is not exactly supported. That's fine. All right. So that I think is a typo. So what I'm going to do is this is just one visualization slope graph. I'm going to tidy this up. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. I don't need year, I need gigawatt hours produced in this year. Nuclear. And I'm actually not going to title that. All right. Yeah, I'm actually going to do something else, which is I'm going to include all 3 years to see whether it's continuous or what, but I'm not going to put text on the middle one. So I'm going to say if else year is 2017, NA, otherwise country name. I missed some step here, like I missed a syntax issue. Okay. Where's my syntax problem? It's there. This parenthesis there. Haha, I like it. It's pretty cool. Other thing I'm going to do with this actually is turn this into a function how do I make this a function? I'm going to say visual plot slope graph. It takes a data set and then it pipes it through, it applies this table to it and returns the resulting ggplot. Which I can then add to. I can say title, nuclear power production over time by country. All right, that looks pretty neat. And now, now we want to try some of the other ones that were changing. So how can we tell what was changing? Well, we can look back at our previous visualization, not that one, not this one. No, this is the one. And say, oh, it's actually, it looks like wind and geothermal had substantial differences. What countries were driving that? Other two, but we saw others are kind of just Turkey. I'm not as interested. And I don't know what other even it means. Geothermal, solar, wind. Geothermal, solar, wind. All right, let's look at this. Who's been driving wind? That's a junk data point. I'm going to change gigawatt hours greater than 0 to be gigawatt hours greater than 1. There was at some point there was something like 0.01 or something like that. Bad data. It happens. And look at that. It's one moment. So on a log scale, you always have to keep in mind that yes, Georgia went up a lot on this scale, but it went from 10 to 100 gigawatt hours. Georgia wasn't driving a lot of the change. It looks to me like Germany and United Kingdom were driving the change. Let's try not putting it on a log scale. And actually, I'm going to I'm going to change this code so that we have a choice clear on a log scale after the fact. Increase in wind energy. My suspicion is a lot of this is driven by Germany. Yeah, and this gets it a little bit more across. Actually, I might keep it this way and say scale y continuous labels equals comma. Cool, cool. This isn't even a slope graph anymore now that I'm thinking about it, because it is sort of just a time graph, but it does kind of help communicate some things. That's neat. All right, and yeah, shame about the United Kingdom being a little bit off-center. It happens with the adjustment. Yeah, it looks like Germany and United Kingdom were driving the wind power production. Let's try another one. I said that solar was also increasing. And I'm trying this without a log. Go. All right, and it looks like solar power a lot is driven by Germany. So my assumption is that Germany has been going through like renewable energy direction in 2016 to 2018. Turkey as well. That's really cool. Turkey has been increasing solar power production. All right. I see a comment that it is totally true, which is that we can try this on multiple facets. It's going to be a little bit crowded. But the one thing I can try is just take, let's say, solar, wind, what are my other types? Distinct type, conventional thermal, because that's kind of the default. That might have been decreasing. And let's say nuclear. Now let's say hydro, because that's a renewable one. And we can facet wrap by type. Scales is free Y. This is going to be too crowded. When we zoom in, it's going to be a tiny bit better, but I'm doing 4 to try and be a little bit less crowded, but we probably still are going to have to do some messing around with it. It's taking its time to run that, to create that graph. Oh well, wow, it just took some time to create this. Yeah, ggflag I think is a little slow in loading these flags, so that's why it's taking time. I'm still going to zoom in and we'll see what it looks like. I see a couple great suggestions that we won't have time to do today because we're coming up in the hour. One of them is using GG highlight to highlight particular countries and avoid the others. Yeah, I've seen other good suggestions, but I'm not going to have the chance to visualize them. Even this might not be able to pop up. I probably could. Tell you what. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's gonna take forever to recreate. Yeah, there's too many things here. But I'll tell you what I'll do for this is I'm gonna say, here we go, group by type, filter, FCT lump, country by, let me say is not other. So I'm gonna say take only the top 8, top 10, weighted by the gigawatt hours. I'll try just 5 from each. What I do is pick only the top few within each. Wow, it really is slowing down my graph rendering. But yeah, you get the sense here of what we can do with this is create slope graphs that show changes over time. communicate some information about them. The points are kind of neat because when you don't have text, they give you a little bit of information. But most of this, they're kind of fun. But yeah. All right, so just to conclude, while this is, we'll see if this ever renders, what did we do today? We learned how to do a lot of data cleaning on these country names. We did some gathering on the gigawatt hours over time. We didn't make a map, but we looked at a couple ways of visualizing consumption over time, really important ways of like getting some orientation into our data set. Then we loaded up the ggflags package. We learned to use the ggflags package, and more generally, when you run into an unfamiliar bug, how do you figure out what it is, diagnose it, and work around it. And then we tried a couple different graphs, both a kind of a flag plot of a geom of showing the top producers of each type of energy, and then we did some looking at changes over time. A lot of other things we could have done. We didn't bring in, we could have used the WDI package to bring in country populations, normalize this per capita. We could have created a map. Just so many things we could have done. But and I hope you tried yourself on this really fun Tidy Tuesday data set. Looks like my studio's crashed, so that is where we leave it. Thanks so much for joining. Hope you had a good time. I certainly did. If you liked it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week.